Hello and welcome! We are Small and Mighty, and today we're going to be playing some D&D. My name is Adam, and I'll be the DM for today's game. And my players are Sarah,
Hello.
Ryan,
Oh, hi! Nailed
Will,
Okay.
Verity, and Unai.
Hi.
And we'll be meeting all their characters very soon. How's everyone doing? You all excited to play?
Yay!
I'm keen to find out what the D's stand for.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we will come to. I promise you, Ryan, we'll come to that. Don't worry, you'll find out. But great. Yeah. So the plan is we're going to play for about 2 to 3 hours today, with a short break about an hour in. But obviously, this is D&D. It is all unscripted. It is role play. It is improvisation. So who knows what's going to happen? So if you don't achieve those times, don't hold us to them. But
Please.
with that all said, we'll jump right in. Let me just get a little bit of music on here. There we go. Right. The Industrial Revolution has come to the lands of Arnhem, and where machine and motors are becoming more and more familiar to the citizens of this land, knowledge of myth and magic slips ever more into the esoteric. Rarely now do the people spin tales of the devil who stole a piece of the sun. Fewer still make it their life's work to discover the lost city, to find the lost dwarven city of Foreigner. And no one alive even knows the name Shodbura anymore. It is in this particular story that we will see what the consequences of forgetting the past can do. And this tale begins at the industrial heart of Arnhem, the city of Dalbridge, as it teeters on the knife's edge of calamity. It was a miserable morning as Burchard began to open up the pub. Heavy rain crashed against the leaky walls of the Five Fellows, drowning out the growing bones of the old dwarf as he prepared the room. The pub had seen better days, weeks, and even years, as very slowly everything that was great and bright about this place had been taken away by age and decay. Burchard pushed tables aside, leaving just one in the center of the room, 2 chairs on either side, one perched beneath a large painting of 5 fellows arm in arm, as the other closer to the door. Even. Why did I wait till I was so bloody old? Wheezed the dwarf to the empty room as he paused to catch his breath. He looked upon the painting, the only item in the whole pub that wasn't ridden with rot these days, and considered the young dwarf and his 4 gnomish companions. Small and Mighty was a once legendary mercenary group. Known for their deeds across the lands, they established a pub to be their base of operations, which was lively and full of song, drink and story at all hours. But the pub was quiet now, and often empty, with the coffers in almost as bad a state as the building itself. However, an opportunity had presented itself to Burchard, a chance to bring it all back. An old contact of his had sent word and was in need of Small and Mighty's help. Too old for the task himself, Burchard set about word that the legendary mercenary company were looking for new recruits, with promise of pay, lodging, and adventures to be had. The room now set for his interviewees, and Burchard, with breath once more, he decorated his dark greying beard with a smile, and then opened the pub's doors, welcoming you inside. So you have just been welcomed in from the rain, the streets of Dalbridge, which are, I want you to picture Dalbridge as kind of Victorian-esque London. It is these tall buildings, cobbled streets. There is smoke filling the sky most times from the factories along the Ilspur River. And the Five Fellows pub itself, well, it's a stone building with plastered walls, a slate roof and several chimneys. Although a lot of that plaster has clearly fallen away, the roof slouches at a steeper angle than it ever should do, and looks like none of the chimneys stand as tall as they once did. It's very unclear if this ruin comes from age or neglect. But yes, Burchard welcomes you all in from the rain, and you can see that there are about maybe a dozen applicants here today. You see quite a lot of humans, you see a couple of dwarves, you see a draken, this lizard man, very strangely, a whole plethora of people here. It looks like there'll be tough competition for this job. And you see the dwarf I just described, Burchard, he welcomes everyone in, and he stands up on a chair, so he's at head height with everyone in the room. And what you see of Burchard, he's a portly dwarf, wearing this kind of slightly tattered, buttoned-down white shirt with suspenders. He has a thick black beard streaked with silver hairs, and wears a similarly tattered tweed flat cap to hide his receding hairline. As he stands upon the chair, it is very noticeable to everyone that his left foot has been replaced with a wooden peg leg. Good morning, everyone. I'm assuming if you're here today, then you're responding to the notice I wrote and plastered about town. If you're here just for a drink, then sod off and come back later when we're open. There's a groan from the back of the group as someone leaves,
Oh.
annoyed. As for the rest of you, those of you who know Small and I already know this, but in case you don't, it's important that you understand what we stand for. Yes, the name Small and Mighty is a reference to the gnomes who originally made up the group, but more importantly, the group's values lie in standing up for the small folk. And that doesn't mean just gnomes. It also means any poor sod who is down on their luck. Our group stands to look after those who and protect those who cannot protect themselves. Now, that doesn't mean we don't take on jobs from lucrative clients, but what it does mean is that our members should always be looking out for those that need help and lending a hand when needed. So if any of those morals don't sit right with you, or you're just here for a payout, then jog on. You're not right for Small and Mighty. Right, with that all said, I also need to say that Small and Mighty only has room for 5 members at this time. So not all of you here today will be successful in your application. Those of you who are successful will be provided food and lodgings here at the Five Fellows. You'll also be paid a 15% cut of any contract the company undertakes, with the final 25% going towards the maintenance of the pub and pay for your lodgings. About this point, the more insightful of your characters, it occurs to you that the notice you read, the job application for this, was written in a very flowery language that really does not seem to match the very plain-spoken dwarf who stands before you. To determine who will be joining the ranks of Small and Mighty today, there will be an interview and a combat trial. Now, if you manage to impress me in both, then you get the job. Well, I won't delay, and we'll begin with the interviews right away. And he points to one of you. So I'm going to roll a d6. I'm going to find out who it is. You watch this dwarf, and these kind of like stubby dwarven finger points to your character, Verity.
Ah!
Hey.
So if you would like to describe to me your character.
Right, my name is Christina. That is Christina Christmas to you. I am Elvish and I come from South Costrand. I'm from the south, I'm from the sea. I've got this lovely olive, not orange skin. I'm a bit more classy than that, you know. With brown, long hair with ribbons for days in it. Now I got here, well, bit of a story, because I live with my parents who are very into business. They've got a lot going for them, but they want me to be perfect. They want me to be a perfect daughter that's going to take on the business and uphold the family name, but I'm not about that. I'm not about it, no. So we had this heirloom that my grandma just shipped off to me, and I popped up out of nowhere in this place called Stourbridge, apparently. So that's me.
And how old does Christina look?
Like early 20s, 22, 23.
And
Living it young.
and what kind of like clothing does she wear?
Wild, hippie stuff. She's got this long yellow robe and loads of beads on.
So yeah, as he points to you, Christina, and you spiel off your life story to the whole room. It's like, you could have waited till we got into the interview room, but it's fine. Come with me. So he takes you out to and where you've all been brought into, by the way. It's kind of like the common room. Imagine like your main room of a pub, but all the tables being pushed aside, and there's a bunch of seats for you to sit on. But he takes you out to what appears to be would have been the kitchen, but you can see it's all closed down. There's nothing open at the moment, and there is just a table in the center with a chair on either side. Not the kitchen. He takes you to a side room, which looks like it would have been like a dining room kind of setup. And he sits on a chair with that painting I described behind him of 5 people, a dwarf and 4 gnomes, and that's the table you sit. And you see on the desk he has a bunch of like paper, some quills, a bunch of books open, and he just sits there and he sets you down. Christina, I'd like you to roll me a d8, please.
D8.
Yes, please.
4.
4, okay. Right, I'll keep this short. I only have 2 questions for you today.
Oh.
First of all, explain to me what skills you can bring to Small and Mighty.
Well, you see, I didn't explain my whole life story properly because I've been a bit disorientated because I just found myself with my family's magical amulet, and we've had it for generations because it's got loads of power and it's all magic and stuff. And I found my grandma just decided to give it to me, and I didn't exactly travel. I just popped up here one day and I found I can do all this magic. So magic is pretty cool, and I think you can do loads of magic probably. I'm still getting to the grips of it. It's all a bit crazy and weird. I mean, magic's not weird, but me having magic feels a bit weird. And so yeah, I can probably do anything.
Right, yeah, okay. So magic's your thing, right, okay.
I think it's my thing now. I'm making it a thing. Let's do
I don't know how they do things in South Costrand, but are you aware that here in Dalbridge, magic's illegal?
What? Why would you make it illegal? It's so useful. You can make ice cream.
No. Here's the thing. I don't disagree with you. I think magic's, incredibly useful. It's just there's quite a lot on this that you don't trust it. So, all right, no, that's fine, and that's good set of skills. But I'll tell you what. Just for the moment, let's keep the magic thing between me and you. Don't go shouting around. I think your skills could be very useful to us. And if you are successful in your application, we'll have to go about getting you a magic license in the city so that the Justicars don't come kicking down our doors and taking you off to a Broadstone prison. Because I don't think we want to.
That sounds well positive.
Yeah, it's not good.
I will say I'm also quite good at like sneaking around and getting around things because
All right.
I ran away from home a lot because my parents are rubbish. Everyone need a break. I just get out. So I can be discreet. Don't you worry about it.
That's what I want to hear. Great. Discreet, that will be very helpful here. All right, okay, cool. All right, my second question, and you watch as he sort of looks over at this book that he has open next to him. What is Christina's passive perception?
Oh, I need to find that. 9.
9, okay. You don't catch a glimpse of what the book is. You just see him looking at his book, and he looks back at you and goes, "Do you believe in Yetis?"
What's a Yeti?
I'll take that as a no then. All right. Thank you, Christina, for your time. And he stands up and he leads you back out the room, and takes you back into the common room where he directs you to go sit on the other side of the room, basically where people he has interviewed has been done.
Right.
I'll let you know. If you just stick around, we'll get to the combat trials soon, and then we'll find out. Okay. And he walks back over to the rest of the waiting people, and he picks someone else. So this time, he points to you, Sarah. Do you want to describe your character?
Yeah, so Tali is dressed in sort of a very heavy duty sort of like dark blue, navy blue cloak, kind of like, it looks like very practical. And she has a very large glaive, again, very practical looking glaive on her back. And that's probably about all you would see of her. Her hood is up, yeah.
Yeah. Any indication of how old she is? Or is it all obscured by the
she's fairly, I'll say she's fairly young, like 22, 24-ish.
Yeah. Okay. And I think in height and appearance she appears human, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's fairly tall, a bit like kind of quite tall for a human, but yeah.
Okay. So Bertrand welcomes you into the back room with him as well. Again,
She will, on her way to the interview room, she will sort of say something in Celestial, just under her breath, and cast Thaumaturgy.
Okay. Interesting. So he takes you into this other room, and again you see this sort of large dining room table, a chair on either side, the same painting, and he sits you down. I would like you to roll me a d8, please.
Yes, I can do that. A 7.
7. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, yeah, like, right. And again, you see that kind of the whole table laid out with all these books and notes. And you see some as a piece of paper he's moved to the side with some notes written on it, which you assume might have been about Christina. Right. I'll keep this brief. I'm going to ask you 2 questions today. First of all, I want you to explain to me what skills you can bring to Small and Mighty.
So she kind of before she answers, she'll take her hood down, and for he'll see she has very long white hair, like white silverish hair, and she has just sort of brown eyes. Yeah, she kind of sits for a minute and thinks. Well, you may have noticed I have a glaive.
I have.
Yeah. I've pretty. I'm a good all-rounder. I can do a little bit of everything. Bit of healing, bit of fighting. Yeah, I mean, I follow one of the spirits, so I have divine protection, if you like. Which is quite useful. Means I don't tend to not gonna die because I'll be protected.
Is that what that little trick you pulled out in the other room was then?
What trick?
I heard you mustering your breath, and that sounded like magic to me.
Well, it's just I just want it's not magic. It's a good luck. I'm asking for some good luck in this interview.
All right, fair enough. So you go with a glaive, you got divine protection. You part of the abbey.
Not at the moment. I have worked with the abbey in the past. Yeah, sort of
Alright.
collecting money for donations for the poor and the needy. Worked with them in passing, but not so much right now. More of a traveler, traveling around, helping people where I can.
So a bit of a charity worker, mercenary type then.
Yeah, I
Is that
mean,
what I'm hearing?
Small and Mighty, right? Stands for helping the people who can't help themselves. I
It does.
have devoted my life to doing that.
All right.
Be nice to do it in a stable, where I have a place to stay and a food and support
Sure.
of a place like this.
That does sound nice, doesn't it? So this divine gift you got, I think most people would call it magic. Are you registered?
No,
All right.
kind of. Kind of. I mean,
Kind of. What do you mean by kind of?
so you know how most people, right? They need magic licenses. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Some people who work with the abbey don't, but they can still,
I'm making roll an insight check, just to kind of see if you can get to your gist.
It's a wink, wink.
Mm. You see, he goes quiet for a moment. He starts stroking this this beard of his. All right, I think I see what you're saying. Well, don't worry. Your secret's safe with me. Small and Mighty, we accept all kinds, and we don't care about people's past. We only care about who they're going to be going forward. So, I'll keep this between us for now. And if you become a member of Small Mighty, you might need to have a bit of conversation about this, because I don't want no Justicars coming down here and kicking down our door and arresting my mercenaries.
Trust me, I don't want that either. I really, it'd be very bad for everybody involved.
Well, we're on the same page then. Excellent.
Absolutely, yes.
Right.
Just a quick. I do have a quick, request. If I am successful, if I could have we have lodgings. You have like an attic room or like a kind of room a little out the way. Just if that would be my personal preference.
Yeah, this pub was designed to be a base for the original Small and Mighty, so there are several rooms. One of them is an attic. It's not in the best shape currently, but
That's fine. It doesn't need to be.
But yes, there is an attic available should you be successful. That does bring me on to my second question. You see he peers over to his book again. What's your passive perception?
15.
15. Okay, so you see the book he's reading from. is an open copy. You can see right down the spine the name, which is called, it says Running Your First Interview by Dummy Dorwin.
I see.
And he glances at it and he just reads something from it and goes, what was the last gift you gave someone?
Money. I collect donations for the poor and needy. That's a pretty good gift for people who are homeless.
No, obviously, I stated this up front, we're very for that kind of lifestyle and that work ethic, but what is it about looking after the homeless and giving money to them that appeals to you? Why in particular do you find yourself drawn to that?
Well, nobody else is gonna do it, and let's call it an innate feeling I have where I mentioned I follow one of the spirits, and they want me to help people, and I want to help people. I'm doing their work, and these people are lost, and I want to try to guide them.
All right, it's a good answer. I like that.
I mean, it's not an answer. It's not. It's the truth. It's not. I didn't.
Well, then it's good
Rough.
truth.
Mhm.
I like that. All right. Well, that's all the questions I got for you today, Tali. I'll take you back outside. I'll sit you down, and then we'll get to the combat trial a
Yeah.
little bit.
You mentioned combat trial.
I did.
Could you elaborate a little bit for me?
Oh, well, why would I ruin the surprise?
Well, I mean, no one's gonna die, right?
Oh, I hope not.
I'm
certainly.
not really about for that.
Well, we
for
certainly
that.
don't want anyone to die. And it would be in your best interest to try and prevent that.
But I definitely have to fight.
We are an adventuring company. Fights come to us whether we want it or not. I need to see if you're ready. Hence the surprise.
Okay. Chica gets up and just picks her glaive off the ground, puts it on her back.
You seem well prepared for it.
Yep. I'm gonna just
Yeah.
I'll see myself out.
You awkwardly leave the room. He comes back into the main room and he walks over to, again, the waiting people. This time he's going to speak to... My dice doesn't roll off the table. Contestant number 2. Ryan, he points to your character.
Hi. Hi.
If you would like to describe your character, please, Ryan.
Brask Knuckle is a 7-foot-tall draken, commonly known as a sort of lizard man. He is gigantic by the standards of the average creature, but for a draken, he's actually pretty small. Small in all but his belly size. He's got a bit of a pot belly. Because, he's cuddly, despite being a giant lizardy man. He's got sort of colourful scales all across his body, primarily green, but then a few sort of reds and oranges around the front. And yeah.
What kind of does he wear? Tribal gear? Or what kind of clothing does he wear? And equipment? What kind of equipment?
It's fairly minimal in terms of materials. It's mostly sort of covering his modesty, and then sort of straps to hold his equipment and that sort of stuff. He's got a little boomerang on his back, and then his scales do the rest of the job for him. They keep him warm, they keep him protected.
You're going for that Tarzan chic.
Yeah.
Cool.
Tarzan's going for that Brask chic.
Oh, I like it. Right, so he leads you out to the other room. There is a moment when you stand up for him, he's just like, oh, you're a tall fucker, aren't you? Right, come on.
You should see my brothers.
There's this kind of weird shudder, and he's like, oh, right. And he brings you to the side room. Again, you see the table layout, painting, etc. Please roll me a d8.
1d8 coming up. Got you A nice little 5.
Okay. This is an excellent question for your character. So yeah, you see him and he's like, right, I'm going to keep this easy and quick. And I have 2 questions for you today, Brask. First of all, I want you to talk to me about what skills you can bring to Small and Mighty.
I have an unshakable sense of honor and justice. I have the heart of a hero, and also Dragon Fang, my boomerang.
You named your boomerang.
No,
Right, he writes that down.
boomerang was named when I obtained.
He crosses out what he wrote and writes something else down. Alright. And is it just a boomerang, or...?
Yes.
Alright. This unshakable sense of honour and duty you've got, what does that actually mean? Like, I don't like stereotype, but I've met some of the Draken, or heard stories about your lot, and some of your lot think are a lot of food.
Some of your lot think are a lot of monsters, but I don't hold things against people.
Oh, that's fair enough, and I try not to either. Which is why I want to understand who you are, Brask.
To me, honor and decency are the only things that matter. And I cannot abide injustice. And
Well,
I seek to restore the name of the Draken people in the world as honorable, valiant warriors.
Well, your morals are certainly impressive. Let's talk more about your skills. So you got a boomerang. I assume you know how to use it. What are you like in a fight?
Quite a big target. But I only fight if the cause is just, and then I cannot be stopped.
Alright. Interesting. Okay. He then glances over the book again. What is your passive perception?
It is 13.
13. Okay. I'm not sure it actually would mean anything to Brass, but you do also see the title of this book is Running Your First Interview by Dummy Dorwin. And he reads the question and he says, there's sort of look in his face like, oh. What is your least favourite thing about humans?
I'm not a fan of the way that they have killed so many of my friends, and also not a fan of the way they have been killed by so many of my friends.
Seems like a pretty obvious answer. I like it. Easy.
Also, they smell a bit strange in the rain.
That's more what I was hoping to hear. Right, okay.
But I can deal with that.
Does Brask have a pretty good sense of smell, I assume?
Yeah, for sense, for like the sort of scent of creatures and beings, yeah.
Okay. This man, although he has tried to make himself as presentable as possible, he doesn't smell the best. Let's put it that way. Like, and you can, from being in this place in general, like there is this kind of whole smell and sense of like rot throughout this building. Clearly, this man has tried to kind of clean up his back as well as he can, but this building is not in a good way, and that probably would be, for lack of a better term, overwhelming your senses right now.
I'm totally fine.
Especially for someone who's used to being outdoors, this place is not overly pleasant. But all right, Brask. Well, thank you for your time. I'll see you outside the waiting area, and I'll just be ready. We'll see what you can do during the combat trial.
You are most welcome. Thank you for the consideration.
And he sees you out to the waiting area.
It's like that.
He unfortunately didn't see that because he was looking down at his notes. So we're going to say that happens in character. As you hold his hand up way too above his head, and he just walks past without seeing it.
I just pat him on the head as I go past. And say,
There is a stop. There's a clunk as you hear that wooden peg like just stop on the floor. Just like, and he just quickly notes something down and then just carries on.
Oh, this is great.
Yes, he takes you out and puts you in the waiting area, and then goes back over to the applicants who are waiting, and picks a new random contestant. This time we have. Where's my list? Place your character, Unai. If you'd like to describe them for me, please.
Ooh, I did something I shouldn't. Okay. Well, so he is, in the middle of all these, fightery people or, large people. You see like a tiny 15, 16-year-old or 16, 17, I don't remember what was settled in, boy, very slim, wearing rags around him, very timid, not really. There's this feeling about him that he's not in the right place, definitely.
Turned up for the wrong job interview, that kind of thing.
But he's happy. He's like, hi, yes.
And then what lineage is he?
Oh, he's human.
Human, okay. And what is his name?
His name is Pebble Rockwell. So, character. Hi, yes.
Young Pebble.
Pebble Rockwell, at your service, sir. Yes.
As Pebble walks past them, Tali is gonna go, Pebble, it'll be okay. You got this.
Thanks. Okay.
The child looks over to the waiting room like, you two friends, are you? Asking you, Pebble.
Yeah, we are.
Nice. Alright. Alright, Pebble, let's go to the other room and let's have a little chat.
Good.
This dwarf leads you into the room. You're once again brought into this, the dining room, the tables, the painting, etc., etc. You're sat on the other side of the table, and Pebble's quite a nervous guy. I can kind of tell.
Yeah. He is. Yeah, he's jittery. Well, I don't know. It's just like, he is jittery. Yeah, he would be, definitely.
There's kind of this dwarf here, although he's, seems somewhat friendly, he has this kind of sort of presence about him that is a little intimidating. Like, you can see this guy has seen his fair share of, battle. There's scars, clearly. He has these kind of callous working hands, but also you see, scars on his arms, and clearly, he's lost a leg from something. So it's a little intimidating. I think of all the people so far, you're probably the one who most feels intimidated by this guy. Again, that feeling of out of place. Like, you're going into an adventuring company, and it doesn't sit so well with you. But he sits down and he's like, right, so I'll be brief. I'm going to ask you 2 questions today, Pebble. Unai, please roll me a d8.
All right.
We'll find out what your question is.
5.
Roll me again. We've had 5.
Yeah, we've had it. 6? Did we have 6?
Nope, we have not had 6. So, and again, you see all the tales, the books, and stuff like that. What's your passive perception?
Where do I see that? Oh no. Passive perception. Where is that again in D&D Beyond? Sorry.
Or if you can't find that quickly, what's your perception?
Perception is +2.
So your
it's on the left-hand side.
There you go. But your passive perception is 10.
Oh yeah, passive wisdom. Perception into.
You don't spot where this book is. That's fine. Right. So, explain to me. And he looks you up and down with this kind of narrowing gaze that kind of looks through, almost like X-ray vision, looks through the small little boy basically before him. Like, tell me what you can bring to smaller Mighty.
Well, I mean, I want to serve people. Like I can cook. I can cook a mean meal, and by mean I don't mean the kind of meal that attacks you or anything. I'm also very good with animals. If you know, I can be someone's squire, or you know, I can tame their horses. It's yeah. I just want to escape. I just want an adventure. I can be of service. I promise.
What are you looking to escape from?
You know, daily routine. Yeah.
So you're looking for a bit of excitement in your life, right?
I'm looking for a lot of purpose in my life.
All right, interesting. You any good in a fight?
Fight? No, not really. But you know, well, I can. I mean, yeah. Usually, whenever there's trouble, I can hide pretty well. And
So you're kind of sneaky then.
I don't like to call myself that. I think I'm pretty upfront. I mean, I'm a little bit shy, but then you know, when I open up, I'm yeah.
You see, as you're all sort of bumbling around these words, you see he's writing down furious amounts of notes.
What? Okay, that will scare me. I would be like, oh, okay.
And there is this kind of look of a scowl on his face as you're talking. No combat ability whatsoever to speak of.
Does Stu help in combat later on?
So you're offering to be a cook, cleaner, handyman. That's basically it, right? Is that what you're saying?
And I can, you know, I can be in charge of the whatever animal we use for transportation if we use one. I don't know.
We did used to have horses. Had to sell those, but we might get them again if we're coming to a good party. All right, interesting. All right, well, we'll move on to our second question anyway. He looks over the book, which you don't see the title of. If you were an 80-year-old grandparent, what would you tell your grandchild?
Probably to.
What wisdom would you impart after your years of adventure and travelling? What wisdom would you impart on your grandchildren?
I will tell them to never give up. There's always a chance for anyone who works towards it, I guess.
Alright, he writes something else down. Alright, well, thank you, Pebble. This has been wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
Good.
Yeah. Go sit in the waiting area and we'll get to the combat trial soon and we'll see how you do. And, well, you know, if things go well,
Combat?
maybe you'll be part of Small Money.
Pleasure, sir. Combat?
And he leads you out the door and points you over to the waiting area where you can go sit with, and there's a seat next to Athalia.
Combat?
And he walks back over to the last remaining person in the queue, who I imagine probably isn't so happy about this, but Will, would you like to explain who you're playing today?
So, the last person sat waiting there stands up, and it's a tall for a 19-year-old human. He's very, very sort of slenderly well muscled. He's got long brown hair pulled back in a long ponytail. Clean shaven, very sort of smug look on his face. Wearing what on the outside look like sort of first impressions look like they're very nice, noble, fine clothes. Sort of a red and gold tunic with a sort of ruffles. He's wearing chainmail underneath. But it's doesn't look like it's been washed or ironed in several weeks. He's clearly tried to make it look as nice as it can. And he stands up and goes, hi, just about time. Name's Chadranuthius Divertine the Third. You can call me Chad. And he looks over, and just before he lead him off. He looks over and sees Pebble and Tali, and is like, "Oh, hi guys. Yeah. See you in a moment. Shall we?"
Alright, so you three are all friends, are you?
We
No. Well, we have met. We don't know each other very well, so I wouldn't.
Well, I see.
we had some fun on the docks the other day. It was
No. Hang on, like not any dodgy kind of fun. We spoke, and nothing happened.
I'm not interested in your personal business. That can stay between you lot. I'm just interested to see if you're good workers. Right. Shall we, Chad? And he leads you out into this other room. So, once again, same layout, painting, table, etc. What is your passive perception?
10.
10. Okay, yeah, you don't spot anything. You just see a lot of books just
Yep.
everywhere. If you...
Chad
Go on.
isn't going to sit down. Chad is going to get the chair by the back of its thing, and he's going to spin it round, and put one foot on up on it, and stand like
Oh
that.
my god!
I
But
thought
he's
you were
got
going-
a long sword in a scabbard, and his shield on his back.
I thought you were going to go for like cool supply teacher, but no, you went worse than that.
Yeah, no, I'm not going for the Riker maneuver. This is the this is the power move.
You've gone for the paint me like Napoleon.
Yeah.
Okay. Amazing. He just sits down in the chair and looks at you like, oh fuck. Roll me a d8, please.
It's the correct response to Chad.
2.
2. Okay, interesting. All right, Chad. I've got just 2 questions for you. We're gonna keep it quick, so we don't get talking for too long. I feel like you like to talk. Explain to me what skills you can bring to smaller Mai.
Yeah, glad you asked that, actually. By the way, you can call me Chad. Chad Prometheus is my father, literally. So yeah, Mummy's always said that I'm her little hero, and well, they're looking for the heroes and adventurers, and well, I just happen to be out in the neighborhood, and just seeing that I could really help you guys out. You may have seen the very nice sword and shield that I've got, family heirlooms and that. I can handle myself absolutely perfectly well in the fight, and I've got connections, and I can also you may have heard of where I'm from in Riverdan, the little town of Vertine, where you may have heard of our extremely famous boating traditions that we have. So naval combat, sign me up, sir.
I've not heard of 13. No.
Well, nobody's perfect, but and I'm fantastic with the ladies. And if you wanna have a good time, I can show Small and Mighty the best time he's ever had.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That's sword and shield. You good with fighting with it?
Good. That's a understatement of the whichever century we're in. You could say that I was trained by my father, who was a warlord, you might say, but less warlord. That's not the type of word that we like to say. Actually, that was a bit of a Freudian slip. More of a old army general, proper professional military grade training that I've had. At this point, he switches from one leg to the other and goes up on there. So yeah, I'm pretty good in a fight.
Right. Okay. Okay. Well, we got the combat trial coming up, so we'll see if you can stand up to all that bravado.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to showing who's who, what's what.
Of course you are. Right. My second question. And somehow I feel like you're going to be all about this. He looks over to the book. If you could throw a parade of any caliber through the streets of Dalbridge, what type of parade would it be?
Oh, military all the way. It's got to be all about the flying the colours of for me obviously Riverdan and Vertine. Hopefully it would be in my honour, but if it wasn't in my honour, then obviously whoever was in charge at the time, royalty, generals, flags of all colours and shows of strength and really having a great time.
All right, interesting. Actually, I do have one extra question for you, Chad.
Shoot, fire away.
How do you feel about that 15% cut?
It's when you've what was your name again? Sorry.
Burchard.
Burchard. Do you mind if I call you Birch? Birch. Now listen, when you've lived a life of
My
luxury
friends call
like
me
mine.
Burr. You are not one of them yet, mate.
Well, I was lucky I didn't call you Burr then, isn't it? Anyway, Burchard. When you've lived a lovely life like mine, I come from a lap of luxury. I've now learned to appreciate the ways of living life in a more simple manner. I still like my luxuries and things, but I can slum it with the best of them. That's just all I need, and it's not quite what I'm used to as a cut, but I can take it.
He writes down more notes in response to that answer than anything so far.
Yeah. I've actually I got a question for you as well, if that's okay.
Go for it. Can't stop you talking anyway.
Would we be based in Dowbridge all the time, or would we be leaving Dowbridge relatively quickly? Would that be a thing that we'd be doing?
So Small Mighty's base of operations is here in the Five Fellows pub,
Sure, yeah.
but we do take jobs outside of Dowbridge that take us all over the world.
Good.
It very much
Yeah.
depends on the clientele and who wants us where.
Excellent. That's just absolutely wonderful. Thank you. Great answer, by the way. Yeah, thanks.
Right. Well, I'll see you to the waiting area, and then there will be a combat trial, and I hope to God you get punched in the face.
Yes, I hope I punch him in the face too.
Yeah, that's what I said. Right, let's
Yeah.
go on. See you to the waiting area.
Good.
He takes you to the waiting area, and you are brought to the other players' characters here, and then he goes on to interview some of the remaining other people here today. And brings them into the waiting room. So you guys all sat kind of together for the moment, and it goes quiet for a bit while Burchard continues interviewing other people. I think just before we get to a moment of you guys having a little bit of chat, how about we jump to our break now, and then we'll get back to that once we're back.
Yeah.
Cool.
Unai, do you want to throw our break up?
Yeah. When shall we be back?
Sort of 5-10 minutes. We'll just
10
come
minutes.
back.
Let's say we'll be back at 10 past. We'll aim for that.
Sounds good. 10
Good.
past.
Okay. I will set up.
See you at 10, everyone.
See you at 10 past.
Woo! Okay, so we're back. So, just kind of reset the scene. You are in the Five Fellows pub, this rickety, shambolic-looking, like multi-story pub. It's raining heavily outside, and you've kind of all been kind of shoved in a bit of a corner, round sort of a table, kind of near the door, of which doesn't fully close, and there's kind of this drafty breeze coming through. And currently, Burchard is now off interviewing other people. Unimportant people, and you guys are kind of crammed around this kind of table, waiting to find out what the combat trial is. And you have a moment to talk amongst yourselves.
I will make a point that Athalia's hood would be down at this point, so everybody would see that she has this very white, kind of silvery hair. And I don't know, the perceptive of you among the group may also see that her eyes are not as described in the interview anymore. They are a sunset color.
Ooh.
How
Oh my god,
right.
I love your hair.
sorry.
Oh, what?
What did you say again?
Christina?
So Christina goes, oh my god, I love your hair.
Thanks. Yours is nice too.
Oh, thanks. It's so hard to like keep it maintained, keep it clean all the time because it's so long and it gets really oily. So, like, that's why I just hide it through ribbons and stuff. But like yours is like beautiful and natural, and I'm here for it. Right.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks. Good luck with your hair.
Chad is gonna Good button at this point. Like, yeah, I like both of your hairs as well. That's yeah, real good work, ladies. Really, really nice. Mine's a little bit on the long side as well. You may have noticed, but you know, don't hold that against me.
Yeah, it's definitely on the crazy side as well. Yeah.
Well, you know, I do what I can, and yeah, people seem to not mind.
Sure.
Sure.
Vraska's just sitting there really politely, like in the middle of everyone, but like way too big for the chair.
I love him.
Amazing.
Sort of like
I think yes. Tao would be like tugging on Tali's
Like
thing.
cloak.
It's like, did he mention fight? Do we have to fight? I can't.
Yeah, I was gonna. She's kind of talking to Pebble, but not hiding it, but like not being super loud. But yeah, I was gonna talk to you, Pebble. Do you have like a a weapon at all?
Actually, out of character, I'm gonna check if I no. Oh yeah, dagger. Yeah. Well, I've got. I use this to chop the onions.
But it's probably not so much a dagger as like a chef's knife.
It says dagger in the sheet, but it means
but I think it's probably
I remember
more
it
like
now.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, look, just do your best. You're small, so that's good because most people
Yes.
are have like, big armor or a weapon, and so you'll be able to sort of get around them.
Okay.
You'll be okay. Just do your best. And she puts her hand sort of on his back, just like you're gonna be okay. And she's gonna use one of the features I have, which is the Vigilant Blessing,
Oh,
which
thank
is the advantage on the next initiative roll this creature
Nice.
makes. People probably wouldn't see it, but her hand, like back of her hand, up her arm would kind of glow blue briefly, and then go away again. But probably won't be seen by anybody.
Thank
So for you, Pebble, there's just kind of this pat on the shoulder, this reassurance. You just feel a little bit more, almost just like a little bit more confident.
Like-
Yeah, a little bit reassured.
Right.
Like you don't
Thanks.
notice that you've been
Yeah.
blessed in this way, particularly apart from just that little burst of confidence.
I'm like, yes. Thank you. I feel better now. Okay.
And I'll be right here. If you need anything, I'm not gonna let anything
Okay.
bad happen to you.
Thank you.
Ad's gonna get up and walk around the table. He's gonna on his way round to go and sit next to Brask. He's gonna just sort of overhear the last bit of this thing, and he's gonna slap Pebble on the back, be like, yeah, you'll be fine. I'll be absolutely fine. If it's you and me, I'll go easy on you. I'll be fine. Don't worry about it. And sort
Alright.
of proper like slap you, probably slightly too hard slap on the back.
Conk. Yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Chad.
You're welcome.
Good.
Sit down next to Brask and you're like, so you're a big guy. Arm wrestle?
what is that?
Oh, it's ancient tradition where two upstanding members of the of society, of the community, see whose arm can do the most pushing.
I have pushed many trailers. Is this wrestle? Trailers full of cattle.
No, this would be my arm versus your arm. We'd be putting our
Where do
elbows
we
in the.
get the cattle?
I mean, there's no cattle involved. I mean, there could be cattle involved. We could go and wrangle some cattle if you wanted to go head to head on some kind
I
of
think we're expected
cattle-based.
to stay here.
Yeah. Maybe afterwards, you and I could go and get some cattle, and just see what we could do with that situation. But for now,
I know where we could get a big bear.
a bear. Yeah. Not sure what we'd do with a bear. But we could wrestle the bear. I mean, yeah, I do that all the time. It's one of my favorite pastimes. Really, is wrestling bears. So
Hang on, Atali just so butts in. where would you find a bear in the city?
Bears? In the city?
Well, the last I saw it was in a tent. And then it was not there anymore.
Where was the tent?
So that is good. He's gonna lean over to Christina and be like, "What direction was the?"
Well, or if I remember, we just sort of started walking away. So, guys, I know this guy, right? Because we're in this, ended up in this circus, like, we freed these animals, and fought some bad guys who were, like, keeping them in the cages, and we got an elephant out, we got a bear out, then we walked and found this place. So, I don't know whether there's a bear in the city, could be an elephant in the city, there could be anything in this city.
One of the creatures was imperceptible, but it smelled very friendly.
I know what that means. That's the important thing, is I know what that word means.
Wait, hang on. What?
Yeah, exactly.
One of the creatures was imperceptible. Do you need me to speak louder?
No. Just how? What? How?
That is a good question.
Okay. I mean, the important thing is you rescued those animals right from the circus, which was being run by bad people, and she just looks at Chad as she says that.
Like we rescued that big ugly beautiful beetle thing, didn't we?
Yeah.
we were so good. Rescued it, set it free in the wild.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Just like what they did.
Yeah,
You were
we def-
wonderful in that, by the way. Both of you.
Well, thank you, I tried.
Thanks, Chad.
You're welcome. My name's Chad, by the way. I don't know if we've introduced each other to ourselves to each other, but yeah, Chad Renethius, the Vertine, the Third. You may have heard of me, and you can call me Chad. Oh, hi. Go for a handshake then.
Your hands are very soft.
I've been wearing gloves. I mean gauntlets. Just keeping them ready for action.
Does your blade not slip from your fingers?
It's a very well made sword. The handle is very grippy. Is all I can really say.
Okay.
Good.
Conversation.
I'm Tali, by the way. I don't know if I've introduced myself, and this is my friend Pebble.
Hi. Yes.
Hello. I am Brask Knuckle.
Hi, Brask.
Hi. Yeah, she shakes his hand. Yeah.
My hand compared to yours is just like a massive difference. Don't crush it, please.
Yeah, Brask's hand envelops the entirety of your hand.
Your hand is very oniony.
Yeah,
I like it.
Okay. Yeah, I cook very well. I can cook for all of us if we get into the Small and Mighty.
Don't worry. Sorry, what was that, Brask? I was just interrupting you. It never happens. Me interrupting people never happens. Go on there, sir. Go on.
Perhaps Pebble could cook the cattle.
Or the bear. Yeah, the bear.
As long as it's
No, not the bear.
dead.
No, not the bear. No,
Okay,
no,
not the bear.
no.
As you're having this
Fine.
awkward conversation, you do hear the doors of the pub opens up, and stepping in from out in the rain, two new figures who haven't been here previously. These very tall, sort of about 6'2"-ish, 6'4"-ish fellows walk in. They have both of them have this kind of like thick grey skin. One of them has this kind of black hair slicked back, a cigar in his mouth, and is wearing this kind of like tailored, like long blackish coat. The other is, the first one there is also quite slim, quite wiry. The second one, standing a little bit taller than this one, again, the kind of thick grey skin. He wears a tailored white button-down shirt and a waistcoat, but this guy is huge. He's ripped, like muscle-wise. He was all like a T-shape, like the Mr. Men, was it Mr. Strong? Like he's like almost like a T-shape.
The triangle.
Yeah, and he has these rolled-up sleeves, pretty much a triangle. And this shirt looks like he's been probably made to basically fit him, but it looks like it's barely containing this guy within it. And they kind of walk into the pub, and the skinnier one who's smoking the cigar is just like, I wonder what's happening here today then. And looks at the other one like, it's odd for the pub to be open at this time, isn't it, Randall? No, I don't think this pub's supposed to be open until at least midday. So I wonder what all this commotion is. And he's just kind of looking around at the pub and everyone around. Any of you guys do anything?
Thalia is like ready to do so. As soon as they do anything untoward, she's gonna be there. So she's like, she's grabbed her glaive. She's just.
So you do her over to them.
Yes.
They look up to you, and you're taller than me. Like these guys are tall. You are taller than them, and the one who's been talking so far puts a hand and is like, "Oh, pleasure to meet you, mate. What the fuck's going on here today? What's all this commotion? Some sort of, I don't know, clown convention or something? There's a bunch of freaks around here, isn't there?
I feel like we're back in school again. We're back at school, and like these are the jocks, and we're all the nerds in the library.
We are auditioning for the small and mighty group of heroes.
Oh, is that what's going on, Randall? Small and Mighty's starting back up again. Oh, but you're starting up the old party again. Oh, isn't that wonderful, Randall? And the other one, this bigger guy, goes like, Peter, that's great. He's like, where is Burchard at the moment? I'd like to have a little word about him.
He is interviewing.
Oh, well then. We don't want to interrupt him, do we? Do we, Randall? Nah. Okay, well. Let's go out and get ourselves a drink. You watch the two of them just make their way across the bar. Across the common room. They walk behind the bar and just start grabbing bottles of alcohol from behind the bar and just cracking them open.
Talia is gonna get up, I guess, and not walk fully over to them, but sort of stand up and get out of the table enough as like, if you're gonna take those, you should leave money. This is an establishment.
Oh yeah, no, this is an establishment. This establishment that, well, let's just say the person I work for owns this place. And that's the reason why I need to have a little word with Burchard today, because, well, he only pays enough protection money for one business. And if he's going to start up your little circus show again, he needs to pay double then now, doesn't he? I think that's only fair, don't you, Randall? Randall just nods.
He's not started it yet, so he doesn't have to pay you.
Yet. Oh, not yet, but as soon as he does, and look at you lot. So feisty, raring to go. First sign of trouble, and you saunter over to me and sort of, what? Gonna use that glaive for something, or are you just here to stand here and look scary?
I'm not gonna use it if I don't have to, but you can't charge the man for a business he doesn't yet have set up.
Don't need to. I'll wait till he starts it up. No rush, but...
Well, that won't be today, so, you could come back when he actually has set up a business.
Well, I wouldn't want to miss the opportunity to talk to my friend Burchard.
Chad's gonna come over and he's gonna be visibly torn between asking the lady if these men are bothering her, or asking these men of some ability if this lowlife is bothering them. Hi. Couldn't help overhearing your conversation. Your chinwag here. My name's Chad Renethius, from Vertine in Riverdown. I was wondering if I could, be of any service to anyone who's doing anything at this point. Seems like there's some kind of situation brewing.
At this point, this one who's been called Peter is currently sat on the bar, and Randall's kind of leaning next to it. It's like, "Oh, pleasure to meet you, Chad. My name's Peter Sunt, and this is my brother Randall Sunt."
Pleasure to meet you both. The Sunt brothers. Has Chad heard of these guys?
Roll me a history check. In fact, everyone can roll me a history check at this point to see what, if anything, you know about these two.
17.
Ooh.
God, 18.
Ooh.
No, 19, sorry. 18
Oh, even
plus
better.
1.
Okay.
15.
15. Okay.
5.
5. Okay.
And 13.
13. Okay. So you're going to know slightly different things based on your backgrounds. Athalia, a couple of arseholes. That's about it. The rest of you do clearly recognize these two as being orcs. Randall clearly fits the more stereotypical build of an orc, the kind of broad shoulder, muscly, tall. Peter, however, is way skinnier and wirier than you kind of ever heard orcs to be described. And also the thing about orcs, what you know is there's almost like two kinds of orcs. There's orcs that these kind of, best way to describe them is basically like Vikings. This kind of warrior tribe of orcs that live on an island far away from here, which has been known as the Uncharted Islands of Hazelfair. No one goes there because the orcs fight them off. But as with the Vikings in our real world, the orcs lead raiding parties along the coastlines, and have done so in the region you're in currently, which is called Brattonshire. And from doing so, orcs eventually have managed to find their way into the populace of Brattonshire. So there are several, as these two seem to be, Brattonshire-born orcs. Christina, you've been from South Costran, would also know that there's a fairly good population of them there in South Costran as well, of orcs mixed into the populace there. But yeah, these two seem to be, especially from the accent and attitude, Dalbridge-born and raised orcs. Chad in particular, however, one thing, you spent a bit more time in the city than I think most people here. You have heard about the Suns. They are enforcers for someone who's known as the Duchess. You don't know a lot about the Duchess. It just seems to be that they are a crime boss who runs most of this district of Dalbridge, which is called Lowbank. And clearly, from what they're saying, these guys go out and get the protection money for her. That's what you know about them. But yeah, you ask if you can hear. It's like, Lou looks you up and down. It's like, no, I think I'm alright, mate. Not sure I like don't want to slum it around with your kind.
No, I may look a little bit scruffy at the moment. There's not that many washing and ironing establishments open at these this weekend. But trust me, I'm no lowlife. I'm with you with the Duchess. I know who you are. I mean, obviously, I'm not with you. The Duchess, but I'm. And he's just digging himself further and further into
and Peter turns to the front like, he thinks I don't realise he's highborn. They're all idiots, aren't they? All of them. More money than sense. Anyway. No, we're just going to wait here. We're going to wait till Burchard turns up and we have a little talk with him.
Oh, yeah, Birch. Yeah, that's what I call him. Because we established a rapport, so anyway, continue.
Brask?
Is there, kind of Brask looking around, is there any indication of, like, opening times for the pub? Or anything like
roll me a perception check.
that? I will do that, and I will give you 11.
11. You're looking around. You don't see anything clearly.
Yes.
Like, you're not really sure what you're looking for. You've not really been in pubs before. What you do spot, however, is some of the people who are waiting to be interviewed have left. You're not sure when. But there does seem to be less people in the pub right now than there were earlier. Some people seem to have got out of Dodge, so to speak.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, these guys are just going to sit there. You watch as they finish the beers they were drinking. Go back and reach for another 2 set of beers. And these, by the way, when I say opening these beers, they're not sort of like bottle open. They're just like smashing them on the bar and like just pouring them into glasses. Like they're not. They're being very disrespectful to this already trashed bar.
Brass
Charlie
school.
is gonna wait by the bar. Like she's not gonna do anything, but she's right there.
When they go ahead, Christina.
I think Christina is going to go over to the bar.
Yeah.
Oh, is one of them beers going?
Sure, love, why not? Reaches back, smashes open one and slides it down to you.
Bit messy, but I'll take it. And she slips out a silver piece and just pops it on the bar.
Charlie is gonna pick that up to save it for the tavern owner.
Roll me a dexterity check, because
I can
he's
do
also
that.
going to go for it. What coin did you pull out, by the way, Christina? Did you say
1 silver piece.
1 silver piece? Okay, yeah.
You want straight dex, right?
Yes, please.
10.
10.
I wrote. Yep.
Well, I'll tell you what, that... When my thing loads... that beats a 7. So, this guy doesn't seem too fussy. He's reaching over towards it and you grab it and it's like... Very well, fair enough.
It's for the tavern owner.
I was
Yeah.
going to put it in the register. It all goes back to us anyway.
Oh, good. That's where I wanted it to go. So thank you, Charlie. Oh, 2 men like you, drinking at this time, you'd want to keep your wits about you, wouldn't you?
Why? We're going to be getting some trouble, are we? No one would be stupid enough to attack us. Just carries on drinking.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah. Then I am going to attempt to cast Force Fear.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Okay.
However, just for some context, everyone, Christina is very new to magic. She doesn't always know what she's doing. So
Yeah.
she's not. So, Verity Nee is casting this, but Christina
Yes.
may not know exactly what's going on.
Not entirely in control of her magic.
Good.
Sorry, so what spell are you casting?
Force Fear.
Cause fear. Okay, read that to me and what happens?
You awaken the sense of mortality in one creature you can see within range. Constructs or an undead is immune to this effect. Targets must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or become frightened of you until the spell ends. Frightened targets can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself on its success.
So, wisdom saving throw. For Peter Sant. That will be a 17. Which I think beats you on. What does it look like when you cast this spell?
I guess not a lot, but my eyes would maybe glow red.
Okay. So you do this and you watch as he kind of like, your eyes glow red and his eyes kind of like shade over black for just a second and he just kind of shakes it off. He's like, shit, they got magic, Randall! Fuck it, I'm not waiting. Get him! Yeah. We're putting a stop to this now! I'd like everyone to roll initiative. As you can
Yes.
see, clearly this guy jumps to attention, starts reaching into his coat to pull something out, and you watch as Randall basically just goes and cracks these huge like fists of his.
Oh, Unai, you also have Pebble has advantage on his initiative roll.
Oh, right, yeah. So, that was one roll. Okay, yeah.
Boy, these dice do not like me today.
Also, can I just say, Verity, I've only just noticed your incredible jumper.
Thank you.
Lovely.
So
It's-
fluffy.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
It is.
thank you. There's more where that came from, believe me.
Good. Can you send some of it to me? That'd be great. I need some extra fluffy stuff.
Yeah. A little music change here. Also, Ryan, yes, you can do that. Easy if you just tell me that out loud, because I will miss that stuff going forward. I'm not always going to be looking at messages in Discord. But yeah, well, so you've held that action, so that will go off if something happens in combat. Need some music. This one, please.
Fine, we're just gonna trash this guy's tavern before we're even hired. It's good.
Hell
You
yeah!
wanted a combat trial, right? So
You did want a combat trial.
Test.
Maybe it is a test. Maybe this is his plan all along. Right, so that's the music. Now I just need to roll initiative for these two.
I like this vibe.
Okay. Chadronethius, what did you get?
I got 9.
9. Okay. Athalia.
I got a 10.
Brask.
18.
Cool. Christina.
3.
What was that? 3.
3.
3. Okay.
Start the fight, but react last.
Yes.
Yeah, makes sense. And Pebble.
14.
14. Okay, not too bad.
Yeah. Throw the first punch. Go, whoa!
But-
Whoa! What happened here?
Oh shit! Oh shit! Okay, cool. So up first is Brask. So what do you want to do? You can see these guys and now. Yeah, you see Peter's reaching inside to pull something out, and Randall is just cracking his knuckles.
Brask is going to. How far away from him are they?
You can be within whatever distance you need to be to attack. You can run
Okay.
up to them, or you can, it's not a massive pump. You can easily get from one side to another in a turn. So,
He's gonna pull out Dragon Fang and go for. Is it Peter that's sort of pulling out something?
Yep.
He's gonna try and sort of Batman style batarang it so it comes out of his hand. Whatever it is he's grabbing, he'll
Sure,
drop
okay.
it.
Okay. So yeah, this is the disarm attack. So make an attack roll.
We got a 22.
Oh my
Yeah, okay, so
god.
doing his,
Oh.
the boomerang comes flying down and hits him on the hand where he's reaching in. So now he needs to make an athletics or acrobatics check to try and hold on to the item. With a natural 1, that's not going to do it. Yes, so this doesn't do damage, but your boomerang just like, smacks him in the hand like an undercut, and you watch him goes, "Oh fuck!" And you watch as he clambering to the floor, which he's pulling out. You watch what basically appears to be like a flintlock pistol just clambers to the floor at his feet. But yeah, that is now down on the ground beneath him. He has not got hold of that. That's your action. What do you want to do with your bonus action? If anything.
As Dragon Fang returns to my hand,
Yeah, you guys all watch as the boomerang, as it clambers up, it does its uppercut, and then just kind of spins and just comes right back to Brask's hand.
can I use Favored Foe on the big guy?
Yeah.
So I'll
So you
do
mark
that.
him as your favourite foe, which obviously gives you extra damage when and if you attack him. Cool.
Yeah.
Alrighty, that's the end of your turn. Pebble, you're up next.
Right, I'm just gonna try to not to look the most inoffensive as possible, but I guess I can. I guess people would run away, but that doesn't.
You can hide under
contribute-
a table.
Yeah, I'm just gonna waste my action hiding under a table, really.
Okay,
I'm not
so
gonna
make
do
a
anything
stealth
else.
check.
Oh, stealth
Use
check.
your action to take the hide action, which means you make a stealth check.
I was thinking about expeditious retreat, but that's like for longer distances than inside the pub, so no.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, just make a stealth check.
Stealth. What is it? There we go. It's an 11.
Okay, so yeah, you just run and sort of duck
Just
underneath the
straight.
table.
Yeah.
That's your action. You want to do anything with bonus action?
Oh, I would try to, while I'm hidden, or while I'm trying to hide, I would try to look around, see, like, would I know where the owner
Burchard.
is doing
Yes,
the
he's
interviews.
still
Yeah, right.
he's still in a room to the side, but
So I'm
you could run that direction if you wanted
just
to.
gonna try to stealthily just aim that direction, like hiding, but going that
Yeah,
direction.
you can hide on that side of the pub, definitely.
Mhm.
Okay, that all you're doing?
But I'm not reaching the door yet.
Okay,
Right.
that's fine. Yeah, you know, if you want to, you can get to the door. Yes.
I can. Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I try to warn the guy, so I
Okay.
get to
What are you doing? What are you saying?
Sorry to interrupt. Something's going on. I'm just panicking at this point.
You throw open the door. I'm like, I'm so sorry.
I'm so
Excuse
sorry.
me.
Either I hide here, or you do something.
The only thing better you could have done was if you run up the door, and go knock, knock, knock. Can I come in?
Yes.
But no, you throw open the door. You're like, excuse me, something's going on. Okay, and then are you hiding? You're doing it that way around.
And basically I open and I close it.
Okay.
Just,
Oh, you're hiding in that room.
yeah.
Right, okay. So you open the door, close it. You're hiding. You can see in the room, Burchard has looked up, sort of like he's clearly noticed something is going on outside. The person he's in with is this kind of small-looking gnome who looks around like, huh? Very confused here, interesting. Right, that's your turn. Athalia, it is your turn.
So, the boomerang attack, the dragon fang, it's because there's a pistol on the floor at the moment, isn't
Yes.
it? But it's still near this person.
Yeah, he could fairly easily go and grab it.
Yeah, so instead of like attacking with my glaive, can I use it to like scoop the, basically
like,
to
golf
scoop to scoop it towards us so that we can like just get it out the way.
Yeah, I'd say it would
I don't
use.
know. I can roll for that if you want.
No, I'll tell you, it's easy enough to do. It will use your action, but you can
That's
basically essentially like hockey stick it, just huck it
Nice.
down, like across the pub if you want to the other side of the bar.
Yes.
The other side of by the entrance kind of way.
You are thinking more towards the where like the party.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Away from him is the important part. I assume.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, you use your action, but you can definitely do that. So you grab your glaive and you're like a hockey stick, you just kind of cut it, uppercut it, and it goes rolling away across the pub.
Is talking a free action?
Yes.
Yeah. So also, so Tali is gonna move to put herself like between these guys and everyone else. Like
Okay.
and she's gonna say something like, "Look, just leave now, and nobody's gonna get hurt, and we can just all go about our business."
That's what you say. And then your turn.
No, I have a bonus action I want to do.
Okay.
So she says that she's gonna cast Shield of Faith, so she's gonna get like some sort of incense in like one of those incense holders and sort of like draw like a rune around herself.
Like in the air, like you want.
Yeah,
like,
sort of just like like around.
Okay, cool. So you stand in front of him like, yeah, we just don't have to go any further, and then draw this rune. I think you're fairly insightful. You do see there is this kind of look of.
She does like take off her cloak, by the way.
Yeah.
She has kind of like really rough peasant-y clothes, but she's wearing like a chain top like shirt underneath it. And yeah, she has like the white hair and the crazy eyes, sunset eyes.
Yeah, you see in this guy's face, like this guy he's not afraid of magic, but there's this look of like discomfort or maybe slight surprise. He's dealing with people with magic, but it's his turn. And in response to Walker was like, I think we've gone a little too far to walk away from this now. And instead he reaches into a different pocket this time, and pulls out what appears to be a knuckle duster. And he's just gonna run up towards you and just basically try and just deck you one.
Bring it.
So that is a 24 to hit.
Yep, that would hit.
Which I imagine with your Shield of Faith still is high enough to hit.
Yep. I don't have
My-
quite that much faith.
My held action doesn't help there, does it?
No, so the held action thing, sorry, you kind of use that on your turn.
Yeah, okay, just check.
Yeah, because you got rid of his pistol, it wouldn't get rid of the knuckle duster he has. You'd obviously try and do it again on a subsequent turn. So the first hit is 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
First hit. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
8. That's 8. 8
Yep.
points. Okay.
He's then going to try and hit you again.
Okay.
That's a natural one, that one. So basically goes into hit, and I guess there's almost like
Overextends.
well, I think in that, or there is almost like the actual magic of your shield of faith almost like pushes him back and throws him off balance. It's like, oh, fucking hate magic users. That will be his turn, however, unless. Actually, the only thing he. No, that's fine. That's his turn. Chad Renethius! What are you gonna do?
So Chad is Chad. I'm picturing him as being between Peter and
You're in that kind of
Randall.
yeah. You're in that kind of vicinity. I think there's like a few, like you and Athalia up front near the bar with these guys, and then kind of Christina and Braska a little bit further back, and Pebble is now in the side room.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use with action surge. Do I need to do that first?
Nope, no. You can choose at any point in your turn. I think.
Right. I want to try and do an unarmed strike first on Peter. And just try
with the knuckle duster. Yeah.
And just try and whack him in the face.
Go for it. Roll to hit.
So let's go for that. That is a 21 to hit.
That will hit him.
That will hit him, and that
He
does.
looks like quite sly and like kind of evasive, but yeah, you still land a good hit on him.
That's 4 points of damage.
You do 4 points of damage to him. Where do you hit him?
In the jaw.
Okay. So basically, as he's kind of reeling back from that blow against the fire, just from side, boom, just across his face. Oh, fuck. 4
Excellent.
points of damage. Okay. So that's your action. Anything else?
I would now like to try and grapple him.
So you'd have to use an action surge for that because you've used your one action.
Yeah.
So you use the action surge,
my
gives you
action
a
surge.
second action.
Yep.
So make me an athletics check. This will be contested by his athletics or acrobatics.
That is a 24.
Jesus.
Damn, Chad.
I mean, he got a 21, but still.
Ooh.
So basically, as he stumbles, you got to grab him, and he actually dodges out of the way.
Yeah.
Thinking that's your done, you basically then jump again, and this time you grab him. He wasn't expecting such a ferocious amount of grappling from you.
Could it be a rather than me just trying to wrap my arms around it? Could I try and do the whole arm behind the back twisty thing?
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So basically, you go and grab him, and he jumps back, and then you just catch his arm and just try to twist it behind his back.
Yep.
Just roll me quickly any
Yep.
dice, odd or even. We're going to find out if this is the one with a knuckle duster or not.
Ooh.
So if it's an odd number, you have
15.
twisted the arm 15. So yes, you've twisted the one with a knuckle duster attached to it.
Lovely. Would it be an action or a bonus action to try and remove the knuckle duster?
It would be an action. So
That
you
would be an
can't hit
action.
this turn.
That's absolutely fine. That is that's my go in that case. I'm not going to try and
Okay.
move with him.
Okay.
Oh, he's going to say, don't punch the ladies.
Oh dear.
So I had to make it weird.
You did.
Yep.
Right, it's now Burchard's turn. So Burchard basically stands up and pushes past you, Pebble. It's like, what the fuck is going on out here? And just sees the carnage, but more importantly, sees the sons. He sees them and just goes, what's it say?
He just closes the door, goes back into the room.
No.
Like,
He sees them and goes, right, I guess this is the combat trial now. Fucking get him out of the pub! And he starts running behind, trying to get behind the bar. You just basically watch as he runs and just dies behind the bar. That's what he spends his turn doing. It also occurs to you at this point that the other people who are waiting here for an interview, they've all left now. They've
What
probably
about the
run
little
away.
gnome? What about the
Yeah,
gnome?
is the gnome still in that room? Is it?
Find out your turn, Pebble.
Oh, okay.
And that's what Burchard does. It's now Randall Sunt's turn. So this big guy sees you grappling his older brother, and he's just like, "Hey, that's my trick!" And he's gonna come over towards you, Chad, and he's gonna try and grapple you.
oh god.
Oh, okay.
So you need to make me an athletics or acrobatics check to try and resist his
Wait, acrobatics.
athletics or acrobatics is your choice, whatever's highest.
What? That was an 11.
An 11, okay.
Yeah.
He got a 13. Not a high roll, but beats you.
Oh.
So as you're holding his brother there, this guy just comes up like proper like bear hug, grabs you and just picks you up.
Oh.
That's his first attack. His second attack, while he's got you there, he just watches his head goes back and he just comes in to headbutt you.
Oh Jesus.
That is
Headbutting
a
the back of my head.
yeah. That's a 17 to hit.
It does not hit. Armor class of 18.
So just you manage to just like maneuver in such a way that a shield that's on your back
Yeah.
just gets in the way, and you watch as it just goes dunk, just headbutts your
Ow.
shield. Okay, that's his turn. But yes, you've been forcibly taken away from Peter. It's actually this guy's gonna, while grappling you, pull you back slightly further away, so you're out of reach of Peter.
Okay.
That's his turn, however. Christina, it's finally your turn.
Oh, okay.
You've basically spent the last like 6 seconds or so watching the carnage that you have wrought.
Yeah. Okay. Then what do I do? I grab the bottle I've been drinking out of and just throw it in the wrong direction.
You're throwing a bottle. You're throwing a bottle at one of them.
Yes.
Okay. Peter or Randall?
Big one.
The big one. Okay. Okay. So in which case, this is an improvised weapon attack.
Yeah.
Because you're not proficient in this. So please roll me a d20 plus your strength score, your strength modifier.
Right. So D20 says 18. Plus. Where's my score? Plus 0. So
18.
18.
18 does hit, however. So now roll me a 1d4.
2.
2, okay. So you watch as Chad, as you're being there, this guy goes bonk, and you hear it as a glass bottle smashes against his side. This guy doesn't seem overly phased by having a glass bottle smashed against him. But anyway, that's your action. Anything you want to do with your bonus action?
I have X. It's a bonus action.
Sorry, say again. You cut out there.
Oh, I'm looking at my bonus action. And then I've got Hex.
So if you want to, you can cast Hex. It obviously means when you do damage to targets, you do more damage. So it would be kind of a later turn thing. But you can do that if you want.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So what does it look like when you cast Hex?
There's a tingling in the air.
Oh.
Notes towards a target. It's more intense, like he's got pins and needles.
Oh, okay. I like that. What I will say, just for the sake of kind of like this is Hex really should be something if you're planning it right, you would do this at the beginning of your turn, so you do extra damage. So what I'll say, just for the sake of kind of being fair as you're learning this character, we'll say you did this first and then rolled then threw the bottle. So if you want, roll an extra, I think it's a d6 damage for Hex.
Yeah.
Yeah, roll the d6 of damage. And we'll add this into the bottle as well.
Whoa.
1, okay, so that's fine.
Every little helps.
Yes,
Yes.
love that thing.
I don't know anything about magic. I can't. I don't know what this all is. Sorry about it. Not sorry. We all live and learn. Yeah.
That's like, it's okay. Don't worry.
Right, back to top of the round. It is now Brask's turn. What are you doing?
Yeah, boy. So Randall's got Chad, and has Chad still got the other one?
No, Chad has now let go of the other one.
Okay. What I think I will do is I'm gonna Dragon Fang the guy.
Mhm.
Actually, no, I'll do that second as a sort of bonus action.
Okay.
First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sort of raise up my big clawy hands, slam them down into the ground, and from that I will cast Entangle towards the little one.
Okay.
Oh.
So you need to make some sort of saving throw. What saving throw does he make?
He makes Oh, that's the wrong spell. He makes a strength saving throw. And it must be over 11.
He got a 15.
Ah.
So you watch his
Oh,
vines
gosh.
start to come out like under the floorboards, and like almost like this mold is starting to rapidly grow into these kind of horrible tendrils of like mold and vines. Tries from he does jump to the side. And he's like, "Fuck, another one with magic." So that's your action.
For my bonus action, I'll still I'll yell over to Chad to move his head as much as he can, and I'm gonna throw Dragon Fang right at the big guy's head in the hope that it will somehow sort of separate them,
Sure. Let me just check something quick.
or at least like slash his arm to loosen his grip a bit or something.
Yeah, maybe. Let me just read something about particular wording of a rule. But you're using your quick throw ability, right?
Yes,
Yeah. So mark off the charge for that.
and also favored foe as well.
Yes, that's true as well.
Dragon Fang operating on Captain America's shield rules? Does it just
does
like,
seem
always
to.
come back to you?
Absolutely.
It does seem to.
Nice.
It seems that the Dragon Fang boomerang might be a magic boomerang.
Surprise!
I want to.
Otherwise, it's just a heavy stick, isn't it?
Just a
Chuck
twig
it.
I found outside.
Just like it hits. Great. I'm just gonna go over and pick that back up again. Walk backwards.
Right. Okay. I'll give you an option here, Brask. So technically speaking, kind of, if we're being fudging the rules slightly, you could use a disarm attack to try and make Randall drop Chad. However, because of the way he's holding him, you would have disadvantage on that attack, and it wouldn't do damage. So you can either attempt to get him to drop Chad, but it would do no damage, or you can just try and hit him and do damage.
I'll just try and hit him and do damage.
Okay.
I'll try and. I want to make it so like the edge of Dragon Fang, because it's quite sharp. I want it to like sort of get into him a bit then.
Sure. Okay. Let's roll to attack.
Oh no! Roll one.
Natural one. Okay. So you do this kind of quick throw, like throw it off your belt kind of thing. It just flies off. As you're throwing
Still
the air,
returns to my hand.
it's flying towards him, and you watch as basically as Chad and him are wrestling, he spins in such a way that the boomerang just bounces off of Chad's shield and basically like embeds itself into the wood, and you guys all watch as it then and flies back to Brass's hand.
Yeah, it's a bit less Cap's shield, a bit more Mjolnir.
Yeah,
Like
it seems to,
Like it.
yeah, dislodge itself and pull itself back. That is your turn, however, Brask. Pebble, you're in the side room. Burchard has hobbled his way out. There was a gnome in here, but you don't see him anymore.
What? Okay.
If you want, you can spend your action trying to find the gnome.
No!
You might have more important things to do.
Right. I'm going to just a bit desperately, right? Oh, I've got a crossbow as well. Huh. I forgot that.
Well, say you didn't have a crossbow, you just found one in this room.
Okay.
Just on the wall, you're like, oh, okay, we'll take this.
Get the crossbow. It's like arrows. I just load the knife with the crossbow in however way possible, and just aim for the general.
Aiming for someone. You're aiming for someone in the room. Is that what's happening?
Aiming for not Chad, because
You're aiming for the big guy. Well, so we're aiming for the big
Yeah.
guy. This time. Okay.
And I launch it like that.
Okay. Make me an attack roll with the crossbow with disadvantage because you're firing a dagger out of it instead of a bolt.
Sure. Is that the hit DC thing or the damage? No.
The hit DC thing.
Yeah.
If you right click on it, you can
Disadvantage.
do
Yeah. Right. There's a majestic 7.
Yeah. No.
You know.
So you guys all see from the side room where Burchard walked out, you watch the dagger goes and flies across.
But probably it
the room,
doesn't
embeds
go like
itself.
this. It goes like.
Yeah, it goes fires
Yeah.
off and then embeds itself in the other wall.
Good.
That's your action, Pebble. Anything else?
Right. I like that the giant guy is somehow unhittable.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
seems that way.
Yeah.
You're gonna be very pissed off when you find out what his armor class is. It's not high.
Aww.
Not high. Anyway, any bonus actions, Pebble?
I don't think. I mean, yeah, no, not
No?
really.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know, man.
Right, and your turn. Athalia, back to you.
Yeah, okay. So Athalia is gonna get some sort of like very fine sort of powder from like a little pocket. And she's gonna blow it like onto the two people we're fighting, and she's gonna say, Intin, take them, and I'm gonna cast sleep.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. So, sleep. I need to. This spell sends creatures into a magical slumber. I have to roll some dice, 5d8, and the total is how many hit points of creatures I can affect. So let me just get some d8. Okay, so we got 24 hit points of.
24 hit points. Okay.
So it starts with the creature with the lowest.
Yeah.
Of the ones I want. So.
So you basically throw some like dust around, do you?
Yeah, it's like very fine part, like kind of blowing it like on
Yeah.
them. It kind of like magically like settles on them.
Okay. So you do this kind of cloud of this sparkling, like, almost like stardust, just kind of fills the space. It kind of covers Peter, Randall, and also Chad to a degree. But I think you can choose targets it affects.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it says creatures within a 20-foot feet of a point you choose within range are affected. So I choose a point in a 20-foot range.
Yeah, so that's
So
what
I
I'm saying.
think Chad has to be affected, but because
Okay.
I don't choose. It says you
That's fair.
creatures within 20 feet of a point you choose.
But yes, you're in which case it would affect Chad potentially.
Whoops.
Chad, how much HP do you have currently?
Oh boy, it's current.
23.
23.
Yep.
Chad, you have the lowest HP.
No, this is so terribly wrong.
So you watch as this fairy dust kind of thing just covers everyone, and then Chad, who's like struggling, falls asleep.
Oh, it's a lovely bed. Lovely. Comfy, upright bed.
It's like I don't know if you've ever had like a weighted blanket, Will, but like
Yeah.
being wrapped up in a weighted blanket.
Yep,
The
yep.
pressure is kind of soothing. You just kind of curl up in this guy's arms. Anything else, Athalia?
Just gonna move back a little bit.
Panic and run away.
No, she's gonna move back a bit, and she's gonna probably again get some. Well, she's gonna like take hold of because she's wearing a like a amulet pendant thing, which is like a crystal, like a kind of purplish crystal with like a big feather in it. She's gonna take that and she's gonna say something in Celestial. And she's gonna cast Healing Word as a bonus action on
Sure, well,
herself.
First of all, as you move away, Peter is going to get an attack of opportunity against you.
Oh. I didn't think I was that close. Okay. I didn't think I could. Yeah, well.
Well, it depends how far you. If he was in melee range of you, so if you're pulling away from him,
Oh,
it's fine. It missed anyway. It missed. He didn't
Oh,
cover.
easy peasy.
It would have.
Also-
it would have been a 9 to hit.
I
think that missed.
realised. So last round she took damage. Do I need to make a concentration saving for Shield of Faith?
Yes, you do.
What would that be? We can do it now.
You make a Constitution saving throw.
Which is okay. My Constitution. Okay.
Yeah.
11.
You're fine.
Woo.
So your that rune is kind of like faintly glowing, almost like circling you. It's still there. But anyway, so yeah, you pull away. He takes a swipe at you, but again, that shield kind of gets interferes his blow. And yes, you cast Healing Word on yourself. What does that look like?
Oh, she just kind of takes hold of her holy symbol, this amulet, and sort of just says something, like kind of bows her head, says something in Celestial, and then it just has its verbal only, so it doesn't look like anything too specific.
Okay. That's the end of your turn.
Yeah.
Back to Peter's turn. Having seen everything that's going on, you just hear him turn to Randall like, just this kind of look of like frustration more than anything. And so like, I don't think this is the right time to do this, Randall. They got magic. Let's get out of here. And you watch as he pulls something from a belt. It's kind of like glass orb. It has what appears to be, for those you can see it, it has like swirling kind of like mist or something in it, and he just grabs it and just chucks it against the floor, and you watch as suddenly this whole room just goes. The whole room seems to fill with fog. All of you are cast into white, fluffy whiteness, as you cannot see anything that's going on. And in that fog, you just hear the sounds of running. And it sounds like Peter is making a bolt to the door. Just door flies open. That's his turn. Chad, you're asleep, so you can't do anything.
Am I still being grappled?
Well, I just want to check something. Thalia, with sleep, when does it end?
So it ends after a minute, or if the creature takes damage, or if somebody uses an action to shake or slap them awake. So
you don't take damage and no one wakes you. What happens, Chad, is you drop to the floor. On Randall's turn, as he drops you to the floor, and then you hear a heavier set of footsteps go boom, 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 running towards the door. The door then slams shut. That's his turn. It's now Bachard's turn. You just hear from some of the house like, "Where the fuck did they go?" And you hear a.
No, I think they left.
Is anyone else want to do anything at this point? You are all filled with fog in this room for whatever reason. And these guys sounds like they've run out of the building. Anyone else want to try and do anything?
I'm gonna try and open the door and run after them to see where they're going.
Okay. So you try and run to the door. Just roll me a perception check to see if you can find your way to the door. 14, okay. Yeah. Although you can't see it, you did catch your layout well enough. You managed to kind of get the door, diving and weaving around like chairs that have been knocked to the floor, and you burst out into the street. And as the door opens, you realise that this fog is spilling out into the street as well. Just roll me another perception check. Just to see if you can see anything out here. 3, yeah. It's heavy rain. You can hear this just crashing of rain outside. The sound of it just pouring over a rooftop. And you look up and down the streets, these kind of alleyways around. You don't see them. They seem to have made a very quick getaway.
And then I just shout out the door, "Don't come back!" and slam the door shut.
Is there like a window or anything? Like, could they maybe have left? Like, have they dropped something on their way out?
Well, this room is still covered with fog, so if you want to try and find a window, I'll have you roll another perception check.
Okay, I could do that.
It's not an action or anything, but Chad is very, very confused. He's just blacked out and he didn't obviously see the fog grenade.
24.
Yes, because you wake up to just clouds of white. Maybe you died. You're not sure. 24. You stumble around the room trying to find a window, and you found. I didn't describe this earlier, but all the windows in this place are all like curtained over. And you go around and you find the nearest window. You pull open the curtains, and it's very hard. You have to get like right your face against the window to kind of tell. But this window is closed, and you do it a few more times, and you just find that all the windows seem closed. You were pretty sure you heard a door opening and closing, so...
Yeah, but more like if there's a window out into the street, you can see...
Sure.
Like,
right.
Have they dropped something? Is there any notable signs of, like, where they've gone?
I see what you're asking. No, you see nothing. They seem to have disappeared without a trace. But again, the street is covered in rain. Like, it would be very hard to leave tracks at this time. But yeah.
Okay.
Well, unless anyone else is doing anything, the kind of
finding Pebble. I'm gonna find Pebble.
Okay, you gotta find Pebble. That's fine. You can do it.
Thank you.
So Pebble is still out in the other room.
Pebble.
Let's just say I've been looking for arrows.
Yeah.
But obviously now it's foggy. And I'm like, ooh, where is that?
Yeah, I mean the fog has even poured into the room you're in. This fog seems to cover quite a wide-ish area. Okay. After about a minute or so, that fog just sort of fades away, and you are left in this bar. You are the only ones left here. Everyone else who was applying for this job has gone away. You do see leaning over the bar is Burchard holding a 2-barreled shotgun. It's like, where the fuck did they go? Did they go? Did they leave?
They left.
I hope
And
so.
he holds it up like, that's good then. I don't have any fucking ammo for this thing. And just chucks it on the, on the counter. He looks
Talia
around.
Well,
Oh, go on.
Talia will pick up the pistol that they dropped.
Pistol's gone.
Ooh.
Okay, that's sketchy.
Rask will just go over to Richard and just sort of kneel in front of him with his head bowed and be like, "We failed. They have escaped."
No.
That's all right. I mean, it doesn't matter. They left. They left without taking any money.
Oh, Talia, she walks up and is like, we have, and hands him the coin that
Yeah.
Christina had some of the beer that they had, but she paid for it, and I took it to make sure it got back to you.
He takes it, and there's a smile across his face. Thank you.
He will
By the
also
way-
see her eyes are a different color now, by the way.
Yeah, he doesn't mention that.
It's fine.
He looks up at the five of you, and he's like, "Oh, the way I see it, welcome to Small and Mighty, you lot." And that's where we're gonna end today.
Yay!
We put into it.
Somehow we all got the job.
Somehow. Somehow you all got the
yeah.
job.
The key to any job interview: remove the other applicants.
Yeah. Elimination.
Start a fight, and then everyone else will leave, and then
We don't know anything about the gnome, though. Not the gnome. The
Oh yeah,
little-
no.
Yeah.
He thinks he's also part of Smaller Minds.
Maybe
Yeah.
living inside the walls now.
He's wondering why Pebble stole his dagger and fired it.
Yeah.
That was sorry, his crossbow.
Yeah.
Good.
But yes, well done, guys. You are all now part of Small and Mighty.
Fantastic.
What a surprise, eh?
Oh, great.
It would have been really, really awkward. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was about to bolt it.
I was
Just go out.
half expecting Pebble to run out the door,
Yeah,
in which case
but then-
Pebble might be having a slightly different adventure than the rest of you guys.
Then Tali was around as
but
well.
it doesn't
so-
matter. Did we all enjoy that?
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
very
that's
much
good.
so.
Very
Very
fun.
much so.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, Adam. That was really
Yeah, we.
Good.
Thank you, people
Okay,
in the
cool.
comments.
Yeah, thanks to everyone who watched.
Yeah.
Yes, they are
Everyone.
saying
People watching.
they are saying well done,
Thank you.
everyone.
Yourself.
And
To which, thank you to my mum. Thank
Yes.
you to.
You
yeah.
guys didn't tell me this was going to be streamed. What do you mean?
What? How?
No, I joke. But yeah, no, I hope everyone who watches enjoyed this.
Yeah.
There's only one last thing we need to do before we say our goodbyes is something we'd like to do in our group is we have inspiration tokens that we give out at the end of each session to the person who did the best role playing or the sort of wackiest plays in combat and that sort of thing. As this is the first session, I will be giving that out to one of you lucky individuals.
Oh.
But then going forward, you will be giving it to each other, and it's completely off my plate. So just having a think. Who do I think? I think for this session, I'm going to give the inspiration token to Chad because of the
Yes.
the bravado and the personality he put forward during the interview. It was just the standing on the chair thing like that.
I respect the commitment to being a
Being an
terrible person.
arsehole.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Essentially.
So yes,
If anyone's
Chad,
watching who doesn't know me, please believe I'm nothing like that.
It comes pretty easy to you.
it does seem to.
Well,
Yes. So, yes.
acting.
Chad, you have the inspiration token.
Thank you so
So
much.
for next session, you'll have the inspiration token. I'll explain what that does next week. Not next week, next time.
In
2 weeks?
2 weeks time.
2 weeks. Yes.
Yay.
So yeah, thank you everyone for watching us today. I hope you all enjoyed our game. And you can catch us here again in 2 weeks' time, about this time, where we're playing again. You can also follow us on Twitter at Smitey Games.
Mhm.
And obviously follow us on here on Twitch to find out when we go live. We'll see you
Yeah.
then. Bye
And-
everyone.
Bye.
Bye bye.